Good afternoon, Robert Scribbler. It is August 10th, 2018. Thank you for joining me for another climate change and clean energy video blog. Now for this segment, I'm going to talk about the amount of damage that was inflicted globally based on early insurance estimates due to extreme weather events across the globe during July, many of which were related in some respects or another to human-caused climate change. But before I get into that, I'd like to just provide some context for you. And that context is that damages from extreme weather events, including meteorological events such as tropical storms, winter storms, or thunderstorms, hydrological events such as flooding, and climatological events such as extreme temperatures, droughts, and wildfires has been increasing since the 1980s. As we can see in this graph produced by Munich Re, which is a global reinsurer. And as we can see, the amount of damages have more than doubled since the 1980s from these extreme events. Now, according to recent insurance claims reports, over $7.3 billion in damages was inflicted to the global economy from droughts, wildfires, and floods over July. This is an incomplete estimate, but it does provide some initial indication of what has occurred. Now, drilling down into individual events, I'm just going to give you guys a brief overview of impacts. In particular, the Australian drought and the European drought featured heavily in losses, and estimated losses from the European drought now tally a total of $4 billion, due primarily to farm losses and other related losses, with Germany alone seeing an estimated $2.9 billion in losses. Fires have also featured heavily in damage-related estimates for July, with the Car Fire, which featured an odd fire whirl which had an equivalent strength to an EF3 tornado with 143 mile-per-hour winds, sweeping burning debris hundreds of feet into the air and greatly compounding damages for this particular fire, which ultimately destroyed over 1,500 homes and resulted in more than $1 billion in estimated damages. The fires in Attica, Greece, which forced hundreds of people to flee, many of them into the water as a rapid fire expansion ran along the coastal regions of Attica, is thought now to have killed an estimated 92 people and destroyed 905 structures. But damage estimates from these fires have not yet been tallied, and it's likely that the damage from this fire will result in at least in the hundreds of millions, and perhaps up to $1 billion in damage as well. It's worth noting that the Sweden fires that were historically unprecedented in modern times resulted in over $100 million in estimated damages. And it's worth noting that some of the fires in Sweden burned north of the Arctic Circle, as we can see in this satellite shot here. The massive Japan flood event resulting from a period of extended extreme rainfall that lasted for days and days over sections of southern Japan resulted in an estimated $711 million in damages. Floods figured heavily in estimated damages during July, with China flooding producing producing an estimated $1 billion in damages, some of that due to flooding from Hurricane Maria's related impacts and other floods in the U.S., including Arizona, the U.S. East and the U.S. Northeast, as well as in the Russian East and Southeast Asia, produced severe impacts. So a serious tally of damages due to extreme weather events during July, many of these events associated with human-caused climate change, with an estimated total, a provisional estimated total of 7.3 billion in July, but unfortunately this estimated tally is likely to increase as more information comes in from these extreme events. Thank you for joining me, and I'll be chatting with you soon.